Hello everybody and welcome to a Tuesday Thunder tutorial with Rangy Rover, brought to you with the help of Stiggy, who did the excellent titles, and Dan, who gave me his replay for us to be able to compare with my replay on the way through. So what we've got here is a DDF on the bottom in orange, obviously, and me inset on the top right in green going around the track. What we're going to do is we're going to go around with a lap and just have a look to see what's going on as we're doing right now. And then we're going to go through a little in slow motion and examine just the very slight differences between myself and Dan on the way through the track. Dan manages a half-second advantage over me through the track, and we're going to have a look through and try and point out why that happens. This final corner that's coming up is one of the areas where Dan draws a big advantage over my lap, and we're going to examine that in detail in the slow motion in a minute. So the difference is visible between us now, and you can see when Dan is heading up towards the line here, there's about half a second in it as we come across the line. So we're going to fade in and start a new lap. So here we are coming to the first corner. We're going to just slow it down. You can see I'm on the brakes earlier and not as hard as Dan. But the biggest thing for me compared to Dan's lap is he's got more steering angle on than I have, and he's on the throttle earlier than I was. Much more committed. I have to come out of it in order to save me from going on the gravel. Dan was on it the whole time flat. Again, I'm on the skids a bit earlier, but not as aggressively straight away as Dan, although I leave a bit of trailing throttle on in this case. But you'll see Dan is actually on the throttle before he gets to the apex here. In third, I'm in fourth, and I'm not fully on the throttle until we're a good chunk out of the apex. You can only really see the difference at slow motion. On this corner you can see just a brush of the throttle, but again Dan is on the throttle at the apex earlier than I was. We're going to go to slow motion on the way into this corner. Big stab of the brakes from Dan. Not quite as much from me. I seem to be more fearful at locking up than Dan is. But then Dan's off it way before the corner, allowing the car to settle, and indeed on the throttle as we go over the chicane. You have to straight line that chicane to get through. You'll also notice it seems that Dan was in third, whereas I was in fourth. This is where I think Dan drags out the biggest advantage over me. I'm on the brakes earlier. On the way into this corner, Dan takes a little wider angle onto the curbs. We both clatter across the curbs here, but Dan gives it no input in the middle, no input at all, where I'm a little bit on the throttle, which means I'm unstable on the way out and don't get on the throttle, and again have to get off it for this corner. Dan was only off it very briefly to allow the car to rotate and then straight back on the throttle. Both in third on this corner. This is the corner I think Dan gains the biggest advantage here. You see, he's huge on the brakes, but comes off it to allow the car to not lock up at the front and get the car to rotate. It takes a huge amount of curb here. I'm not quite as aggressive as that, and it shows on the way out of the corner. I can't get back on the throttle. Dan's already on it as we pull out of here, and I think that corner is the biggest impact corner of the whole lot, with the difference between us. Again, full on the skids here. I take a long time, it seems, to get into the brake. Dan absolutely jabs the brake, which if you ever watched his footwork on Dan's channel, you can see he treats the brake pedal as a punching bag. And you can see coming around, we both clatter over that curb, but he's braver than I am. He's on that throttle earlier. I daren't, and I think he gets some extra rotation as a result. And there we go to finish, and you're going to just see the difference now here as we pause at the line. We're going to go through and change places. I'm going to be in the main pane, and Dan's going to be in the top right pane. We're just going to let it play, and you can make your own mind up where the differences are, and hopefully you can see with where the extra steering rotation's coming in from Dan. I think he's using a bit more steering than I am at the front, and that's making a little tiny difference to the lap time, about half a second overall. There's a big gain across here for Dan. I'm not quite sure why, because we seem to take a very similar line, but he definitely gets out of it better than I do. But this chicane and the next corner, and indeed the corner after that, is where the difference is made in the lap. He's on the throttle earlier coming out of that corner. And on the throttle earlier coming out of this corner, you'll see. And taking a bit more curb. I hope you all enjoyed this play-by-play between the two laps for all 10 people who are going to watch it. I look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday. Take care. Rangy out.